Welcome in again, folks, to the Wide Nation of Sports podcast. Got some instant reaction here today from Team USA Basketball. They came out with a pretty comfortable win today, 110-84 over Serbia. Really strong team in Serbia. They got the likes of Bogdanovic and Jokic. And when you look at the start of this game, it wasn't so cut and dry for the Americans. They trailed by as many as 8 points. In that first half, they had 10 miscues. A lot of those miscues were leading to runouts that the Serbians were converting into baskets. And I wanted to start with just looking at the starters that took the floor today. As you know, they've had some exhibitions, kind of tinkering with different first lineups and then second lineups. And today, you had LeBron at point. At the grand age of 39 years old, he ran the point to a plum. Really played really well today. And then his backcourt running mate, Drew Holiday, is 34. And then Steph is 36, playing on the wing, playing as a shooting guard. And then you had Joel Embiid, got the start today. He's 30. And then also Devin Booker was a starter, and he is 27. So when you look at that, when you round up that tally of those 5 players, the average age for the starters, you have just over the age of 33 years old. Pretty remarkable when you consider how old this team is. Very much a wise bunch, and some household names that NBA fans, basketball fans alike throughout the world are familiar with. So that's just something that for me was incredible and leads me into kind of my 3 takeaways for today. So we'll start with the old guys. So first point A of this instant reaction's got to be LeBron James. As I said, 39 years old and didn't look it. Looking very spry, a lot of spring in his step. He finished the game with 21 points and a team-high 9 assists and a team-high 8 boards. Like I said, on the break, in transition, he was just prime LeBron James. His prime transition game looked like he was out there with the Heat again. The Heatles just owning it with his decision-making, his quickness to get on the break, his finishing at the goal. He did have 6 turnovers today, but as the prime ball handler, just really, really strong, high usage today. And it's pretty remarkable. I put out a poll, I tweeted out a poll and put it on the YouTube channel as well. What is the best American point guard at this juncture? Who's the one kind of making decisions? I'm speaking offensively. Who's got kind of the biggest bag? Who out there is kind of dictating pace best? I put some names out there. If you look at this team, Drew Holiday is a point guard. He's a point guard for the C's, for the Boston Celtics. LeBron, I wouldn't say is necessarily a point guard, but he played that position today, and he showed throughout his career in spurts that he can be a really great distributor. Playmaking, I would say, is definitely his best quality throughout the length of his career, his storied career. I have him as number 2 all time in terms of players. I have him right behind Michael Jordan. But yeah, he's been dominant with the ball. He's been someone that can get people involved. He's been someone that's definitely been a pass-first player. Probably got criticized a lot for that early on in his career, but today, overall performance from him. And he from the get-go, with his and one finish there on the break and a dunk, the Americans definitely relied on him to run the show, and he did it really well. That was my first point. My second takeaway today was, lo and behold, it's Olympic time, it's Team USA basketball time, and who's stepping up to the podium and calling the shots and sniping as like it's 2008, 2012. You had Mr. Kevin Durant helping spur the victory. KD, he had 23 points today. He made his first 8 shots, all in the first half. 5 of those from beyond the arc. The team as a whole went 18 for 32 from deep in this game. And then he missed his lone shot there in the second half. Finished with again 23 points, just ridiculous. To end the first half, they ran an out of bounds play from midcourt for him. Threw him the ball. He caught it, not too far outside the paint on the kind of near the right corner. Just caught it, turned. His momentum was carrying him to the opposite basket. Looking at the opposite basket, turned, faded away, made it as he was falling to the ground, and that was kind of indicative of the first half that he had. It's got to be great if you're a Team USA fan to see him showing out like he has. He's been Mr. USA, Team USA basketball in a lot of big spots in the past. It's great to see him doing that. You could argue that of late, besides the late Kobe Bryant, one of the most clutch player that the U.S. has had in some big moments, in some big games, in some big tournaments. And yeah, it is a little bit of a surprise because it was, as I'll say, no exhibition play, still finds a way. Mr. KD didn't play in any of the exhibition matches, the friendlies leading up to this tournament, but came in and he's just a plug-and-play guy, very seamless player for any rotation, any group of hoopers, and he's been doing that for a long time. He's been doing that on several NBA teams he's played with. He's shown that he can be unselfish, and he can show that he can be a guy that's just kind of assigned to go in and hit a mid-range. In that first half, though, he hit 5 threes, all from around the arc. No one particular spot. Just was dynamite today. He was part of a bench that scored 47 points. So the bench definitely got it done today. My third takeaway was a kind of an unsung hero for this team and a guy that's going to come up pretty colossal in terms of his role and what he's asked to do. I mentioned him earlier, Drew Holiday. So as I mentioned, the U.S. didn't necessarily take care of the ball well in the early going, and the Serbs capitalized on that a lot. He was slow getting to a pass on an out of bounds on the sideline that led to a run out. But later, not too much later, there was a sequence where he slapped the ball away for a deflection that got USA the ball and led to a LeBron flush. So yeah, the C's point guard, he's a great selection for this Team USA. I'm really interested to see kind of where he develops in terms of kind of just picking his spots. He did it today, really picked his spots. Very seamless off the ball, 15 points, 2 thefts, 3 boards, 3 dimes, 6 of 8 from the floor, really efficient, not a high volume guy. And then 3 of 5 from 3-point range. His defense and his shot making, his decision making, his athleticism is going to come up really big for this team. It's going to be something to watch moving forward. And then he's also a guy that really just embodies kind of that team spirit. Again, another guy kind of like KD that you can kind of just plug in there and he's going to make an impact. He's going to be a difference maker. And we'll kind of see, his movement off the ball is really critical. He had some instances where he was cutting backdoor, and just a guy that you like to watch to play because he's unselfish and he plays with a high IQ, and he's able to kind of play with any kind of grouping of players. So that's big for the U.S. So my final side notes that I wanted to talk about from today's game. Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, point guard, and then Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics did not play today. I thought Tyrese Halliburton, though, Hallie was a guy who was up pretty quick off the bench, first one off the bench to greet guys at timeouts and when they were coming to the sideline. I like to see that. And this is a great experience for these guys. I'm sure for Jason Tatum, it's kind of maybe a different kind of story, considering kind of where he's at in his career, and maybe not as young as Holly and wants to be probably in there and making an impact. But I think these guys are going to have a chance to make an impact when if there's some injuries, some foul trouble. You'll just kind of have to see how it goes. I know the men's soccer team, for instance, really goes deep into their bench for tournaments like this, World Cup, Olympics. So you could see those guys get some action. I thought they might get in late here as they were this game was well within hand against the Serbs, but we'll see. And then Joel Embiid, we did finally get that matchup, Joel Embiid versus Nikola Jokic, the Joker of Serbia. It was cool to see them match up. Both of them played well. Joel didn't have huge numbers, but he did. He was able to kind of get some passes from the post, make some shots. Jokic was using his footwork to kind of spin around Joel sometimes to get some baskets. So that was cool to see. Just great matchup right to start the Olympics. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for some more of that. I have a feeling that these teams might meet again. You'll see. We'll see. But maybe it's a little bit of a different story, different look if they do match up again. Jokic had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. So he was the hub of that offense for Serbia. And then finally, I wanted to highlight Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, the shooting guard from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kind of had a late instance where he's pivoting in the corner. He's about 12, 13 feet from the basket. Got kind of nowhere to go, pivoting, and then stepped through for a floater there, a little silky floater that dropped, which was kind of a indicative of kind of his awareness of where he was at, as well as just his supreme footwork. And with that step through, was able to score. And then you saw Steph Curry dancing on the bench, kind of trying to, moving around a little bit, like moving his hips, like, this is what Anthony Edwards is all about. And you could just see there was those two like to talk, and Edwards was motioning that he was cooking. And these are just images that are never going to go away. These are images that, this is what the Olympic Games are all about. This is really cool to see a young talent like Ant-Man, just having a moment there with Steph Curry across the court on the bench. And, it possibly could be, considered a lot of people a passing the torch from these two guards, but we'll see. A lot of people were anointing Ant-Man during the playoffs, kind of a prisoner of the moment stance that people had when they knocked off Denver. But really cool to see. Like I said, a little bit of a passing of the mantle. And so it was great. And another big highlight I distinctly remember I noted here was Ant-Man had an unreal swat showcasing his hops where he got up and blocked a Serb, and then that set the table for LeBron to go to the other end for an and one. So that's all. That's kind of what I saw. We'll see where the U.S. moving forward can take this kind of performance. Was very positive against a really strong foe. And for Team USA, they got out of that. Were able to kind of clean up the turnovers a little bit in the second half, but still something that probably is going to be a little bit of something that might rear its ugly head in the future. That was it, folks. That was what we saw today. KD spurring the victory along with LeBron. Both those guys turning back the clock. And it's going to be interesting to see moving forward if that's kind of a continuing theme for this team, for the old guys. And I know for a fact that they're going to be ready and roaring to go in their second match. And they are going to be playing, the men will be playing South Sudan in a rematch of a game where LeBron had a late layup to get a 1-point win against South Sudan. That game will be 3 Eastern on Wednesday, so we can see what Team USA can do here in their second game in the group phase. Go ahead and leave a comment. Also, please subscribe. Leave a comment on who you think is the best point guard in the game right now, best American-born point guard, as well as is this run by KD and LeBron as these aging superstars, these American heroes, is this sustainable?